Chapter 1. The Debt of Existence. The damp, musty air of the dungeon hung thick with the scent of mildew and moss. Rivulets of water trickled down the uneven stone walls, their surfaces glistening under the flickering light of a single torch, which sputtered sporadically like a weary heartbeat. It was in this dimly lit world beneath the earth that a creature of pure glop and glee stirred to life. A slime, known only as Mox. Mox was no ordinary slime. At least, he didn't believe so. While many of his kind were content to bounce and jiggle through life, absorbing nutrients and avoiding the unwarranted attention of adventurers, Mox had something far more pressing weighing down on him. He had a debt, and not just any kind of debt, but one that came laced with the sting of betrayal and burdensome expectations. Ugh, another day, another battle against mediocrity, Mox sighed, though his voice was a soft, squelchy sound that barely echoed off the walls. He was a small, gelatinous blob, sporting a hue somewhere between turquoise and cerulean. His surface shimmered faintly as he absorbed the dim light, and two beady, expressive eyes, one slightly larger than the other, peered out from the center of his mass. "Do you have to mope all the time?" came a voice from the shadows. It was Nella, a mischievous sprite who often flitted just out of Mox's reach, her wings creating a soft rustle that was like the whisper of the wind through leaves. Her laughter danced across the air, light and airy. "Yes, it's easy for you to say," Mox responded with a resentful bounce. "You don't owe your existence to some greedy ex-adventurer who turns his minions into borrow-erin," a term Mox used interchangeably for slaves, but which he made up to sound slightly less oppressive, who pay their dues in blood. Nella rolled her eyes, her features contorting in a way that exuded the impulse to tease him further. "You know, for a slime, you take things way too seriously. Just absorb some nutrients. The forest's green, and let yourself unwind for a second. Isn't that what we're all created for? To exist?" "That's the problem," Mox grumbled. "I exist without choice. By some cruel twist of fate, I find myself beneath the thumb of Zaroth, the dungeon keeper. They say he's as greedy as a troll with a hoard of silver coins. Every second of existence I have comes with interest calculated in misery. My life is a futile effort to find a way out of this debt. There's nothing existential about it." Nella's expression softened slightly, though the sparkle in her eyes retained its jolly mischief. "Oh, come now. We all have burdens, don't we? Yours just happens to be a bit more gooey." Mox couldn't help but giggle at that. "Gooey? You mean slimy. I'll have you know, this goo is actually a marvel of biochemical perfection." Sure. Nella waved a dismissive hand as her wings shimmered playfully. "But tell me, what does he have over you that you can't shake it off? I mean, surely even a slime like you has a trick up your sleeve, right?" "If I only had a sleeve," Mox lamented. "But yes, what I have is a soul bond that ties me directly to the dungeon's power. I was spawned from a magic crystal Zaroth calls it the Legacy Stone, and with every creature I dissolve, and with every adventurer I repel, I accumulate more debt. A debt that compounds every time I disappoint him. It's how he ensures loyalty." "Now that's clever," Nella mused, her voice laden with intrigue. "But what if? Then let's take control of it from the inside," Nella proposed, her voice rising as excitement danced in the air. "You could become a powerful slime, one that adventurers fear, a true legend beneath this surface." Mox quivered, barely able to contain his thrill at the possibility. "You really think that could work? Could I actually intend to make my presence felt, instead of going with the flow? I could become something more than just a tool for his expanse?" Nella flitted closer, a wicked grin on her face. "Absolutely. Let's concoct a plan that'll make even Zaroth envious of your power, and then we'll find a way to break your ties. But how?" Mox's inner excitement battled with his cautious nature. Zaroth never lets his minions advance. He snuffs out potential wherever it resides. "With a little cleverness and my wiles, anything is possible." Nella flew in a circle, her form a blur of vibrancy. "We'll start small. You'll need to absorb more than just the usual adventurers, and you'll need a plan to lure them deeper into your gooey embrace." Mox contemplated the idea, excitement bubbling like a boiling pot within him. Absorbing the unique abilities of foes instead of being merely a stepping stone on their adventuring road could indeed shift the balance of power. His mind raced with thoughts of transcendence. Perhaps he could grow into a titan of the dungeon, a true legend. What's beyond this dungeon anyway? Mox found himself saying aloud. I've always wondered, is there a world out there beyond Zaroth's reach? A place where slimes roam free, not shackled by obligation? Ah, the grand outside world. Nella clasped her hands in mock reverence. They say it's full of wonders, trees that reach the sky, rivers made of sunlight, and creatures of all shapes and forms, walking on two legs, talking, breathing. Just imagine the possibilities. You could even meet another slime, maybe one who holds no debts. Enough dreaming. We need tangible goals. Step 1. Strength, Mox exclaimed, determination flaring within his pulled-together form. We're going to break my bindings. Exactly, Nella chirped gleefully. But first, you have to implement my adorable training regime. I suggest we start today by challenging the adventurers lurking nearby your core. No, wait, Nella. Slow down, Mox squelched, but she had already taken off, leaving only the echo of her laughter behind her. And just like that, the ambitious little adventurer began to ponder how everything had spiraled into chaos. A slime with a dream was no longer just a dream. He was a slime with a mission, and it would start with a journey. As the walls echoed Nella's fading giggles, Mox felt a gurgle of excitement waft through his mass. Lavishing in this newfound hope, he began making calculated moves, shifting toward the dungeon center, where easier, less ostentatious adventures awaited. Off we go, Mox declared. With the path ahead winding into obscurity, he realized for the first time that control over his chaotic existence was just as slippery as him, and if he couldn't harness it through cunning, he'd need courage. Mox illustrated his grand ambition with a firm squish. Today, he would absorb more than just crumbs of existence from hapless travelers. He'd make a statement. With an urgency to fulfill that promise, Mox proceeded, leaving behind the warmth of his gelatinous home in search of greatness and a way to spurn the drudgery of his debt. But ahead, darkness awaited.